Dash, are you okay? She asked. I tried so very hard to keep my voice calm. Why do you hate me? She looked around. Are you asking me? Every time you show up, something bad happens, I said. But it always happens to me. I can only assume that deep down you must have a to-do list somewhere which says, wake up, pester Rainbow Dash, eat a muffin, hit Rainbow Dash in the face with a volleyball and knock her unconscious most of the day. The gray Pegasus looked away. I don't put muffins on my to-do lists. You always do this. Do you want to ruin my day? I mean, this is almost as bad as what you did during the Wonderbolt tryouts. No, you know what? Nothing is as bad as that. I still dream about them laughing at me. She kept her eyes away from mine. They weren't laughing at you. Yes, they were. And it's all because of you, Derpy. I sat and crossed my arms. I was so furious I had no idea what to say, and I could only hope she somehow understood. Derpy said nothing, turned around and walked outside with her head held down. She left the hut as Fluttershy and the rest of my friends walked in. Twilight was the first to speak. Dash, I just saw Derpy leave. I think she was crying. What happened? I told her she was ruining my life, because it's true. Applejack walked up next to my bed with a bag of food in her mouth. She placed it on the ground. That wasn't right, Rainbow. She's your friend, and you should treat her better than that. I didn't say anything and reached for the bag. Applejack snatched it off the ground and backed off. She tucked it in her saddle pack. No. You want it? Go apologize to Derpy and then you can have it. Give me that bag. No. I was up and out of the bed before I even knew what happened. Before I reached AJ, she stood upright and looked me straight in the eye. Dash, you're gonna lose. I stopped right in front of Applejack. Oh, now you're taunting me. I'm not talking about this bag. I'm talking about Derpy. I stood and listened. You hate losing. I know. I remember when you and I stood hoof to hoof at the Rain of the Leaves competition. You did everything you could to win. But when it comes to friendships, you should try just as hard, if not harder, to make sure your friends know you care. Derpy is your friend, but right now she's probably crying in her room. She doesn't have a room. She was delivering mail, to monkeys, I might add. Yeah, that was when you first saw her. But after you were hurt in today's game, she used every bit of money she had just to stay here at the resort, so she could make sure you were okay. I don't know why she didn't just stay with us. I guess she really wanted to pay for her own room so there wouldn't be any issues with the resort staff, and I can respect that honesty. I didn't know what to say. If you hate losing a race, that's one thing, but you should worry more about losing a friend. The words hit hard. I looked around at my friends, who all stared and waited for my response. I thought about Derpy and how she must be feeling. I'll talk to her. Where is she? Don't worry, Twilight said. We'll show you. Derpy's hut was the smallest I'd seen on the island. On the outside, it looked like the most simple of the bunch. Nothing at all like the one my friends and I were staying at. I knocked on the door and it creaked open. Why would she leave it unlocked? I asked and stepped inside. The gray Pegasus was nowhere to be found, but there were dozens of papers scattered all around a table in the corner. The bedroom was barely big enough for the bed and the table. I looked at the writings. What are they? Twilight asked, walking up next to me. I felt my heart sink. They're apology letters. To me. There was a rumbling outside. It's starting to rain, Pinkie said as she looked outside. I have to find her, I said. I have to make this right. But where is she? We all searched the room, looking for any clue, but it turned up nothing. The rain was pouring now. She could be out there all alone, Fluttershy said. I'll find her, I said and moved to the door. Don't you want us to come with you? Twilight asked. I need to talk to her alone. But you guys should stay here in case she comes back. I don't want another friend of mine hurt because of me. Well, we're still going, Applejack said. And you can't stop us, Rarity said. Just let me get my raincoat. The rain was washing down hard as the sun started to descend in the sky. We left the hut and took off in one direction as Fluttershy and I scanned the skies for any sign of Derpy. I yelled down to the others, We need to find her before it gets dark, or she may be stuck out here all night. Twilight saw an empty gazebo and stood under the awning as we all moved in out of the rain. She said, Okay, gang. We need to split up and search as much ground as possible. If we don't find her, come back to this spot in an hour and we'll think of something else. Got it, I said and took off. Lightning began to flash in the distance, and a thought occurred to me. Derpy might not be anywhere on the island, but she might be above it. I soared above the cloud cover and saw a patch of rain clouds in a neat little circle. The shape had the mark of a Pegasus, so I zoomed in for a closer look. I saw Derpy sitting on the cloud. Her head was down and her eyes were closed. "Derpy," I said, "I'm so glad I found you." I landed right next to her. "I'm sorry, Rainbow Dash," she said and opened her eyes. "No, I'm sorry. I should have never said those mean things to you. But you made me so mad." "I know. I ran away because I didn't want you to be mad at me." Her eyes were watering. "I don't want you to stop being my friend." Of all the things to watch, her eyes were the hardest. I'd broken her, and I was supposed to be her friend. I finally tried to speak. You are my friend. But I'm upset because what you did at the race bothered me. And to say that is an understatement. I couldn't stand it when the crowd started laughing at me after what you pulled." "They weren't laughing at you," Derpy started, and I immediately knew how the line was going to end. "They were laughing at me." I couldn't say anything. "You had flour in your eyes, so you couldn't see, but I was the one every pony was laughing at. They laughed at me because I messed up. Because I always mess up." I stayed silent and let her finish. "I was there because I wanted to try out for the Wonderbolts too. But I couldn't make it, and it got in your way. I'm sorry, Rainbow Dash. You should have won." I rested on the cloud next to Derpy, as thunder echoed around us. I couldn't let the moment end like this. Derpy was my friend, even if she messed up, but I was so angry. I hadn't even considered what she was going through. I couldn't believe how I'd been acting. "I'm sorry, Derpy." I waited. I didn't know." I thought long and hard, trying to find out what to do next. "I'm sorry. And I'm going to make it up to you, starting right now." Her eyes lit up a little. "You don't have to." "No, I need to. I shouldn't have said those things to you. But you're my friend, and no one laughs at my friend Derpy," I said. Her smile grew wider. "In fact, you know what? We're going to train together. We'll show them. We'll both get into the Wonderbolts." "Really?" "Yeah," I said. "We'll start when we get back from this vacation." "Oh, I'm not on vacation." "You're not?" "Nope. I'm delivering mail to monkeys." Dear Princess Celestia, today I found out it's more important to realize that others around you may be going through worse situations than you. I strengthened one of my friendships because I finally allowed myself to forgive some pony who was only trying to reach their dreams. So they made a mistake. It happens. But the important thing is that I give them a chance to be my friends, so maybe, just maybe, we can reach those dreams together. Your royal subject, Rainbow Dash. And that was Daring Do and the Mighty Muffin, I said and closed the binder. "Awesome," Derpy said. She rested in her bed with the covers pulled up to her chin. "But didn't we read all the stories already?" "No, I wrote this one so I could read it to you after our flight practice," I said. "I'm getting pretty good at writing ever since Twilight told me to keep a journal." "So, what's this story called, then, if it's not one of the original books?" "Well, it's fiction, made by a fan, so I guess fan fiction?" "Let's read some more fan fiction."